to connect a region of over 600 cultural bridges between our lands.
Good evening, I'm Alma Angeles and you're watching ASEAN in Focus on tonight's program. The Philippines sent condolences to Morocco after an earthquake. President Biden celebrates deepening U.S.-Vietnam ties, focusing on semiconductors, and he emphasized that his objective was not containment of China. Air China flight makes emergency landing in Singapore due to an engine fire. And UNESCO calls for regulation and training in AI education integration. Plus, gastronomy enthusiasts flock to Arcadia's 626 night market. First in our news, the Philippine House of Representatives expressed its deepest condolences to the people of Morocco following the devastating earthquake that struck on Friday night. They also expressed relief that no Filipino citizens were among the more than 2,000 people who lost their lives. Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez said that the magnitude 6.8 earthquake was a reminder of the destructive power of nature. He said, "We offer our deepest sympathies to the families of the victims and we pray for the speedy recovery of those who were injured." Romualdez also commended the rescue teams who've been working tirelessly to save lives. He said, "We stand in solidarity with the people of Morocco during this difficult time, and we hope that they will be able to rebuild their lives as soon as possible." The earthquake, which was the most powerful to hit Morocco in over 60 years, has left a trail of destruction. More than 2,100 people have been killed and over 2,400 injured. Many villages have been flattened. Thousands of people have been left homeless. Rescue operations are ongoing, but the difficult terrain and the lack of resources are hampering the efforts. The international community has pledged assistance.
Before we begin, I want to express my sadness by the loss of life and devastation caused by the earthquake in Morocco. Our thoughts and prayers with the people of Morocco and my friend King Mohammed VI, I should say, and my administration, including Secretary of State Blinken, who's here with me today, is working with Moroccan officials on long distance here. We're working expeditiously to ensure American citizens in Morocco are safe, standing ready to provide any necessary assistance to the Moroccan people as well. We've made that offer.
Je veux ici avoir un mot tout particulier pour le Maroc et le peuple marocain, qui a connu hier une tragédie qui nous touche tous. L'ensemble du G20 a affirmé sa solidarité. La France a eu l'occasion de le faire dès les premières heures. Envoyé à Sa Majesté le roi Mohamed VI, évidemment, un message directement. Nous avons mobilisé l'ensemble des équipes techniques de sécurité pour pouvoir intervenir quand les autorités du Maroc le jugeront utile. Et en tout cas, nous sommes mobilisés, les échanges se font entre ministres et techniciens. Et nous avons ce matin mobilisé la Banque mondiale, le FMI, l'Union européenne et l'Union africaine pour, ensemble avec la France, justement marquer aussi un engagement fort de soutien au Maroc, au peuple marocain pour la reconstruction et l'aide financière dans ce contexte.
מדינת ישראל תגיש כל סיוע אפשרי למרוקו, כולל במידה וירצו משלחת חילוץ והצלה שעומדת מוכנה לסייע להם. מדינת ישראל עומדת לצידה של מרוקו בשעתה הקשה.
And the first group of foreign rescuers arrived in Morocco on Sunday. And tonight we have new images emerging depicting the aftermath of a powerful earthquake that rocked Morocco late Friday, resulting in the tragic loss of more than 2,100 lives and leaving hundreds injured. Now, these images reveal people fleeing into the streets, with tourists desperately running for safety and individuals seeking refuge as rubble engulfs their surroundings.
الخوف الزلزال اللي ضرب بهذه الدرجه هكا وبهذه القوه لدرجه انه في العماره حسينا العماره مشات ثلاثه الخطرات او اربعه الخطرات. الناس بواحد الراه باش خرجوا للشارع ما يمكنش يتصور. البكاء، الناس دابا ناعسه في الشوارع والناس ناعسه، ولكن تلقاو هذاك الصوت الرهيب بحال دايز من حداك شي تران. هذا هو الاحساس اللي خلع الناس وخلع كل شيء.
Others can be seen navigating through narrow alleyways to escape the chaos. The death toll has now surged past 2,100 as indicated by reports and authorities, with 2,122 reported fatalities. In the aftermath of the quake, which occurred 48 hours ago, the urgent search for survivors has entered a critical phase throughout Morocco. In major villages and smaller cities alike, families are forced to sleep on the streets, filled with anxiety about the potential for aftershocks that could further endanger their homes.
تقريبا تقدر اي وقت تقدر تطيح، وما يمكنش لينا حنا نمشيو لها نسكنوا فيها. وعباد الله جاي هنا، راه ما كاينش اللي قال لهم ريحوا هنا، حنا كاملين جايين مجموعين هنا، حنا مخلوعين من هذاك الديار.
Residents in Atlas Village recount the harrowing experience, with one resident, 82-year-old Hada, lamenting, "You can smell the corpses everywhere."
ما عاونت بوالو، ما قربت ليهم هاد الناس، نساتهم لا اله الا الله محمد رسول الله. وكاين اللي تبقى من العائله واحد الشخص هو اللي تيبقى في الدار مسكين تيبكي في الطريق، ما كاين ليه لا حنين ولا رحيم. هذا الشيء راه عيب خصنا الناس يتحدوا والسلطات المحليه تدخل في هذا الشيء. فينا هما المروحيات اللي الا يجبدوا شي واحد باقي حي اللي عتق، ما كاين من يدز. هذا الشيء راه اخويا حشومه وعار، هذا الشيء حشومه وعار. الشعب المغربي قداش وما يعاون خوتو، لا اله الا الله. السلطه المحليه راه ما عاونت بوالو.
دوار تفكرت، كنتواجدوا في واحد الساكنه اللي هي عايشت واحد الازمه، ضرب واحد الزنزال البارح مع 11 تقريبا، 11 ونص تقريبا، ضربات ديك الهزه ارضيه كلها هي الساكنه ديال الدوار، كلها هي ترابت عليهم. وكتشوف كلشي الناس كاين اللي مات ليهم باهم امهم خوتهم، اللي مات ليه شي واحد تيموت ليه شي واحد في العائله.
A 6.8 magnitude quake struck 72 kilometers southwest of the tourist hub of Marrakesh, wiping out entire villages in the hills of the Atlas Mountains. On Sunday, an aftershock of magnitude 4.5 rattled the same region. The mountain village of Tavegakti, 60 kilometers from Marrakesh, was almost entirely destroyed, according to an AFP team, with very few buildings still standing. The nation now faces the daunting challenge of not only rescuing, but also recovering and rebuilding in the wake of this tragedy. As Morocco grapples with its deadliest earthquake in decades, claiming the lives of more than 2,100 people, Professor David Rothery, an expert in planetary geosciences at the Open University, provides insights into this seismic event.
This was an earthquake of magnitude 6.8, which is pretty big for Morocco. There's been nothing bigger than 6.0 within 500 kilometers of this since at least 1900. So this is, locally speaking, this is very big. Geologically speaking, it's not a surprise to have an earthquake like this. It's just very infrequent. Africa and Europe are colliding. Most of the action is further north, close to the Mediterranean. But the high Atlas Mountains are uplifted because of this collision between Africa and Europe. It's still continuing. So there are some earth movements beneath those mountains, and that's just what happened last night, and it will continue to happen. But these events on this scale are infrequent, and they're maybe once a century or even less frequent. It's done a lot of damage to buildings, particularly because it was in a mountainous region and it was a shallow earthquake. The initial rupture happened at a depth of a little bit less than 20 kilometers. Had it been at 40 or 80 kilometers, the shaking at the surface would have been much less, but it was shallow. Hence the amount of damage. I dare say the death toll will continue to rise as well. And I think many of the buildings in the area are quite old and certainly haven't been constructed to modern seismic resilience standards. If you build cheaply, buildings fall down more easily. They'll have to think very seriously. Now, they know that earthquakes of this size can occur in a region. Is it worth investing in earthquake resilient buildings? but there may not be a quake this big in the same area for another century. So it's a very difficult decision to have to make. There will be aftershocks. There was a magnitude 4 point something aftershock about an hour after the initial earthquake. All the other aftershocks so far have been smaller. They will be worrying for people who are close enough by to feel them, but they will tend to be weaker. Normally they would not do much damage, except you've got buildings already structurally unsound because of the original earthquake. So there could be some more building collapse, and certainly rescuers are putting their lives at risk crawling into rubble if there's an aftershock.
In tonight's other news, U.S. President Joe Biden celebrated the deepening of ties with Vietnam as the two nations forged an agreement to enhance cooperation, particularly in the realm of semiconductors. However, he emphasized that his objective was not containment of China.
We can trace a 50-year arc of progress in the relationship between our nations, from conflict to normalization to this new elevated status that will be a force for prosperity and security in one of the most consequential regions in the world.
This comprehensive strategic partnership with Hanoi forms part of Washington's broader strategy to strengthen its network of allies across the Asia-Pacific region in response to China's growing influence.
I don't want to contain China. I just want to make sure we have a relationship with China that is on the up and up, squared away. Everybody knows what it's all about. And one of the things that is going on now is China is beginning to change some of the rules of the game in terms of trade and other issues. It's not about isolating China. It's about making sure the rules of the road, everything from airspace and space in the ocean, is the international rules of the road are abided by. And overall, we talked about stability. We talked about making sure that the third world, the southern hemisphere had access to change it, had access. It wasn't confrontational at all.
President Biden criticized Beijing for attempting to reshape the global order to align with its interests. Washington, at times to Beijing's discomfort, has invested significantly in forging alliances as part of its Indo-Pacific strategy. Now, this includes initiatives like the Quad Security Dialogue involving India, Australia, and Japan, as well as the AUKUS Pact with Britain and Australia. Biden expressed his desire to establish clear guidelines for international relations. Concerns about global supply chain disruptions and the perceived over-reliance of the U.S. on China for vital resources have fueled efforts to enhance relationships with countries like Vietnam. The newly formed partnership include a semiconductor agreement with the U.S. pledging to assist Vietnam in advancing its semiconductor capabilities and expanding production.
In our cooperation on critical and emerging technologies, particularly around building a more resilient semiconductor supply chain, we're expanding our economic partnership, spurring even greater trade and investment between our nations.
Additionally, there's a section dedicated to rare earth minerals, essential for the production of high-tech devices such as smartphones and electric vehicle batteries. Vietnam boasts the world's second largest deposits of rare earths after China, and U.S. officials see it as a pivotal player in diversifying and strengthening supply chains. Last month, President Biden took steps to limit U.S. investment in sensitive Chinese technology sectors, including semiconductors, quantum computing, and artificial intelligence. The agreement elevates the U.S. to the highest tier of Vietnam's diplomatic relations alongside China, Russia, India, and South Korea. President Trong expressed gratitude to Biden for his contributions to the improvement of U.S.-Vietnamese relations and affirmed his country's commitment to implementing the new agreement. In tonight's other news, an Air China flight originating from Chengdu made an emergency landing at Singapore's Changi Airport. The aircraft's left engine had caught fire during the flight, prompting the emergency response. Fortunately, authorities have confirmed that all passengers and crew members are safe. The incident occurred when flight CA403 experienced smoke in the forward cargo hold and lavatory while en route to Singapore. Changi Airport swiftly responded and the plane touchdown at approximately 4:15 p.m. All passengers and crew members were successfully evacuated from the aircraft. Notably, the fire in the left engine has been extinguished, ensuring the safety of all individuals on board. A video clip reportedly from the scene shows passengers using emergency slides to disembark from the stricken aircraft. UNESCO has called on governments to regulate and provide teacher training for the responsible use of generative AI in education. They released global guidance to address disruptions caused by generative AI. While technology can enhance learning, it can also hinder it if used excessively or without qualified teachers.
Technology's suitability and value need to be proven in relation to a human-centered vision of education. Decision makers need a compass when deciding to deploy technology in education. The first question is whether the use of education technology is appropriate for its context, aligned with learning objectives. Governments need to identify which digital technologies have been shown to improve learning and how, in order to then reform curricula and pedagogy accordingly. Not everything that shines is gold. An artificial intelligence-based system used by 25 million students in the United States did no better than traditional teaching. It is important to design, monitor and evaluate policies on technology in education with the participation of teachers and students. Countries need to establish a curriculum and assessment framework for digital competencies that is broad, intended for citizenship, not just for the world of work, and not attached to specific technologies. A framework that takes account of what is learned outside school as well. Sometimes we don't need to look far. Analysis of PISA data suggests that students with the weakest reading skills were 5 times more likely to be misled by phishing emails compared to students with strong reading skills. We need to protect learners' and teachers' human rights, their well-being, safety, and privacy. Digital technology should not be a substitute for, but a complement to human interaction.
And finally in our news, gastronomy enthusiasts gathered at the bustling 626 Night Market in Arcadia, California, ready to indulge in a flavorful and immersive culinary adventure. Joining the excitement are Alan and Eva Basilyahe.
As unbelievable as it sounds, summer in Southern California is winding down.
And as residents try to squeeze in a few more waves, or hit the trail one last time, the 626 Night Market in Arcadia, California gives these outdoor adventurers the opportunity to refuel on tantalizing street food,
as well as enjoy a vibrant atmosphere, artisanal crafts, and live performances.
Obviously 626 is kind of like focused on Asian food, but there's a bunch of different kind of food. It's just a nice place to be around a lot of people and a lot of variety.
I'm holding the chicken cartilage skewers and he's holding lamb skewers. When you come here, obviously there's pricier food, but if you want to get the full experience, just come here. You're paying for the experience, not just the food.
Whether you're looking at just like all the indie shops, the small shops, if you're looking at all the different food, if you even want to just play the games that are around here, there's something for everyone, for all families, everything like that. So we got noodles from Taiwan, from Asha.
I would recommend it. It reminded me of like back home because I'm from Taiwan, so that's why I was interested in getting this as well.
We sell noodle bowls. The noodle bowls are sesame and soy based, so they are pretty delicious. They are also the healthiest instant noodles you can ever buy. Since it's super healthy, you'll feel refreshed, it's super light, the sauce is super tasty, and it's also, you know, really healthy. There's not too much oil, not a lot of all the bad ingredients that other instant noodle brands use. We really enjoy seeing reoccurring customers. We had a couple of people come back even after other days, so seeing them come back really puts a smile on our face, and you know, it just shows our employees that we're doing a great job.
People are here for a variety of food, and that's what they get here. So we like to see them enjoy our food. We like to see them share it with their friends and say, wow, this is great. And we like to see them share other people's food as well. The mango sticky rice is always one of our more popular items. We also have different boba drinks that are very popular. We have a noodle dish, pakimao, which is very popular, and fried oysters and the crispy fried rice. My wife and our friends just enjoy representing their culture to all who are interested. So our customer base is a mix of Thai and Laotian people, but also people just curious or people like me who have an affinity for the food.
We do very well because everybody loves our drinks, which is awesome. I really love mixing horchata and strawberry milk. It's such a hit. It's really good. Regular drinks by themselves, watermelon's very popular, passion fruit, strawberry lemonade. We have a new one, guava. That one's been really good. We always give free samples to everybody, make sure they like their drink before they get it, because we want to make sure that they're satisfied. So then when a few people actually say, like, who made this drink? And then I say, like, me, it's like, this is amazing, it's the best drink, and I really love hearing that. So it's great. Sunny Cafe stands out from the rest because we make our drinks with all natural fruit, no added syrup or powder, which is really rare because you see like a lot of booths, they don't make it like that. It's just syrup in their booths. So we make everything fresh.
Since we do Japanese sandwiches, we do different types of flavors and proteins with them. So it's familiar yet foreign at the same time. Our best seller is our spicy truffle chicken katsu sando, our strawberry cream sando, which eats like a dessert. So that for most people seems exotic because they've never had fruit on a sandwich, but it eats just like a cake. For the last 3 years, we've been traveling the country, almost like a rock band. And so we just pop up in different cities. We do different food festivals. We do our own pop-ups. And it's just been a kind of a crazy, interesting trip that, you know, an egg sandwich is what started it all, has taken us this far. There's nothing else that's doing what we're doing. We're the only Japanese sandwich booth at 626.
What we do is we make cheesesteaks, pretty much not your traditional cheesesteaks as well, but with traditional cheesesteaks. The best seller so far is going to be the bulgogi and also the Flamin' Hot. I live by the 3S, your family, your food, and your friends. And this is what the food fairs cover. So every time I see a customer come, watch us, and support us, you know, and mostly our food is made from love. The buzz itself is just, you know, organic. It's just friendly people, smiles, and all walks of life.
The 626 Night Market has always stood out for its support of local businesses, cultural richness, and of course, culinary diversity.
But more than just a place for great food, this organization aims to foster community connections and to celebrate the vibrant tapestry of cultures that make Southern California unique.
Eva and Alan, Arcadia, California. Eagle News, we live in extraordinary times.
As my usual habit, I'd like to end the day on a positive note. Let's encourage and build each other up so that no one is left behind. And that's it for tonight's broadcast. I'm Alma Angela. Stay in the news because we live in extraordinary times. Good night.